Hey, it's Doug from Rise Above Gym Champ. Whether you're an old guy like me or a young buck who's just getting ready to take their sports to the next level, you should be doing first step exercises to increase the speed and reduce injuries when you perform those skills out on the field. Let's check them out. So the first step is the ability to generate power and speed in a direction. I'm going to focus primarily on the forward direction in this video. There's some lateral stuff that I might do down the road, but let's just focus on forward. A lot of sports, that first step is forward. Whether you're playing pickleball or sprinting, that is forward step. Now, this can be done for any athlete at any age. So these are beginners. So whether you are a true beginner, a young athlete that's starting to get serious about their sports, 10, 12 years old and starting to work on these things, this is a good place to start. If you're an older athlete that has not gone with this type of training in a long time and you're going out and playing pickleball, I know who you are, please do some of these exercises. Obviously you want to maintain what's proper for you at this moment, but you go out and sprint when you haven't done it in years, or you try to stretch out a single in softball, you might pull a hamstring or ruin your ankle or something like that. So that's why I'm here to help you with these. Now we first want to start off with general exercises and mobility. You've got to maintain your mobility, especially in the ankles and your strength. So ankle mobility, simple things you can do for that is we're just going to bring our foot near a post, and I'm just going to push forward, maintaining my heel down. So just ankle mobility there. I'll have some exercises later for the calves, but gotta keep those ankles very mobile. So the ankle extends and pushes off for that first step. Also it does some absorption later on, but that first step, you have to have ankle flexion to help drive you forward, and if it only moves a little bit, that's not optimal. You're not going to get a lot of power, and you can probably get injured if you try to do it too much. Next, your basic strength things. These things should be done all throughout your life. It can be mixed in throughout the weeks. I'll explain later how to put this all together. Deadlifts, so just picking things up off the floor. I have several videos on how to do these properly. Squats, gotta keep those in the rotation. Split squat, sometimes just called a static lunge, where I'm just gonna be here, kind of dropping straight down, straight up. Also, I like reverse or step back lunges because that helps with the first step. So I would step back, load the leg, drive up and forward. So that's simulating the first step from a strength perspective. Also, calf raises. These aren't just for glamour. We want to drop down 2 feet, come up. You can hold on. You can get a step like me so you can get a little more range of motion. You want to try the one-footed version. And then eventually, you want to be able to do it on the floor without any help. And then also single leg the same way. Lastly, pull-ups. Yes, pull-ups do help with strength and overall speed because it trains the nervous system all together, and especially for the upper body. So you want to do some pull-ups as well. Now, if you have trouble doing pull-ups, you can use a band. I have a whole tutorial on that. You can check it out here. So those are the strength exercises and the mobility one for the ankle that I would constantly keep within your programming every week, so you have that solid foundation and you maintain that foundation throughout your training cycle. So now we'll get to the agility and power portion, and this is where the bread and butter is. This is where you're going to get that forward production and that first step speed. So one thing I really have all my athletes learn, no matter how good they are, is to perform with the jump rope. So a lot of them are great athletes and can't do jump rope, or they haven't done it for a long time. Some of you as older adults may have not done it since grade school, but you want to be able to do jump rope. Jump rope is basic plyometric, and it's rhythm and coordination and timing of the body. So, you can just start off, everybody kind of knows what jump rope looks like, 2 feet, you can also go 1 foot. But you should be able to jump rope and then have that as a foundation for what you're going to do for the other agility exercises. Next, we're going to do basic agility. So I have a lot of my athletes starting out with just some forward and back hops. So 2 feet, Nice and springy, similar to jump rope, but we're getting that forward movement. And then we take it to the next level and do one-footed. So forward and back. Once they get pretty good at that, then we put it on a small box. So we get that plyometric effect, that springiness. So we jump 2 feet on the box and down. And then once they get good with that, then we do the one-footed version down and up. So those are good ways to build upon, your plyometric ability and increase that forward drive and power. So next we're going to do the power phase of these exercises. So we're going to do a broad jump to start, and a broad jump is basically loading the hips and jumping forward as far as you can with a good landing. Of course, you don't want to jump so far and you're tumbling, you want to be able to stick the landing. So we're just going to get in a kind of squat position or good hip width position. I'm going to drive the arms back and I'm going to drive forward as far as I can. So not up, I'm going to go at a slight angle, 30 degrees or so, and then land. So that's the first stage. You want to do power and see if you can stick the landing. Then you can start stringing them together. When you start getting very good with them, then you can do one leg, and then you can start stringing those together. Obviously, train both legs. You'll probably have one leg that's a little bit, more better at starting and pushing forward. If you're right-handed, you'll probably have your right leg back. But in sports, it's not always that way. A lot of times we're square, and we have to push off different directions. So we want to make sure that we do both. The next one we're going to do is a kettlebell swing. So a kettlebell swing is essentially a broad jump, but we're using weight to drive hip power. So it's going to help that broad jump. So I have a lot of tutorials on the kettlebell swing, but we're just going to be here. We're going to hike through and fire those legs. Now, if you want a pure power type movement with the kettlebell swing, pick a heavier weight that you can do with good form and don't do a lot of reps. So let's say I'll do 3 reps with this. Let's say this is heavy for me. I'm going to do 3 reps and set it down. So instead of doing long endurance, I'm going to go for power. So I'm going to go here, hike through, and then set it down. So I'm really trying to drive those hips and then be able to do that to produce power going forward. Lastly, if you have some type of sled, sleds are awesome for building power because you really get in that first kind of step position, that sprint position, and then you drive forward. You want to pick a weight where you can maintain speed, but also be able to, feel it a little bit. If you're going too fast and it's squirrely, you're not generating power. So you want it heavy enough for when you start, you have to overcome that weight, but you don't want it so heavy where you're not generating enough power or speed. So it's a fine line, a fine balance. If you don't have a sled, you can use a plate too. It's going to be a little bit lower, but I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to drive forward and run it a little bit that way. So those are some options for the power. So there you have it, my beginner's guide to increasing your first step speed. So the way I would put it together in a program is to do your mobility and warm up, like your ankle things, and then go into your agility. I would pick 2. So let's say on Monday I'll do jump rope and I'll do some hops forward and back. On Wednesday, let's say I'll do the low box on-off hops and pick another agility exercise. So that way you're spacing things out. Then I would do the strength. So again, maybe on Mondays I do deadlifts, Tuesdays or Wednesdays I do squats, and then I'll pick a single leg. So on Mondays I'll do the split squats, on Wednesdays I'll do the reverse lunges. Doesn't have to be overthought, it's just mixing it up, getting it all in, training it all, but also spacing it out so you're getting variety as well. And then you can finish your workout with some sled pushes, or if that's your power phase, you can do that a little bit earlier if you really want to maximize those, or the swing. So you can do sled on one day, swing on the other. So that's how it's set it up and build up your first step speed. If you like the video, please like it down below. Also subscribe, as I try to put a new video out every week. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. If you have any topics for future videos, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And let's get that first step speed up.